welcome to another episode of the Ignite Initiative. I have a great friend, Matt Simmons, on of Simmons Media, founder of Simmons Media, and welcome, Matt.
Sweet, Mike. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk a little bit today.
Of course. This is funny because usually, you're helping out on the other side of this, but I love having you on this side of the conversation because you guys have built, in a really short period of time, actually shorter than I thought, a great business, and you guys are exploding and you continue to explode. I already see it happening. So congrats on all of that.
I appreciate it. The lights are a little brighter on this side.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, this is a hot business, right? Social media, content, development, all of that stuff. And I feel like a lot of people are just trying to jump into it, but they don't do it properly, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
And, you started out, and I just learned this, as trying to be a lawyer. So how did you shift into this business from there, and how did that happen?
Right. So, I went to college, Westchester University, as a political science major. And the goal was to be a lawyer. Okay. Quickly, I was like 2 years into college, so I guess a sophomore. And I was like, you know what? I need to get my hands on something. Like, I had that little entrepreneurial tendencies. I knew the schooling wasn't necessarily my thing. I couldn't see myself there
So I hear you on that.
I couldn't see myself there for 7 years, right? Okay. So I was always kind of
law school, yeah.
Yeah, and I was always passionate about making videos, and I played basketball my whole life. So fitness and videos, I wanted to kind of start chasing my passions, and I didn't think there was even anything that I could tie the two together with. So I had an honest conversation with myself one day. I'm like, this isn't what you want to do. Switch it up. So I picked up a second major, which was media. And that's where I really started honing in my craft, getting better. Met a lot of good people in that program as well. And that led me to senior year where I had an internship, right? And you know Devin Gage, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I had an internship at Gage Strength Training, and I was their media intern. All right.
How did that come about? How did that?
So I was searching on the school had a platform where they had recommended
local to you guys.
Yes, local recommended internships, and I was scrolling, and there's different ones for news channels and stuff like that, but nothing that I really wanted to actually do. And then I saw that one, I was like, oh shoot, this could be
cool,
really cool.
Yeah.
So I reached out. Apparently they put the internship listing up 5 years prior. You had no idea it was still
still on there.
You had no idea it was still listed, but eventually we got talking, decided it'd be a good thing to do, and we got started with that. And in that internship, I was super interested in the fitness side as well. Okay. So I would sit in on some of their trainer intern meetings, not just the media side. I really started learning, what it meant to be a trainer and about the business even more. And from there, that internship went well. Had the idea one day. Devin and I had a conversation. I was like, "Do you think this is something that people would actually want?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think it's a great idea. When you graduate, let's get started right away."
So he didn't have anybody running his social media, obviously, at the time.
No.
What year is this?
What's up?
What year is this?
This was 2022.
Yeah. Okay. It was starting to get more popular then.
It was, but it was still a balance of 50% were starting to get into social media, 50% of local businesses were just not.
Yeah.
Still had some non-believers.
The way I see it right now is it's almost in 2024, it's your storefront.
Absolutely.
Back in the day, your storefront is just your business, how it looks. And obviously that's important. I'm not saying it's not important, but this is what people are going to see when they look up your business. This is your storefront of their first impression. So why not invest money into that part of your business and have it off of your hands?
Exactly. I know whenever I hear of, a business or anything like that, the first thing I do is I go to Instagram. I'm like, okay, let's look up RAF.
Exactly.
Let's see what they're about.
See what they're about.
Exactly.
More than the website, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. The websites are they're definitely, websites have their needs. It's more to gather people's information, but now Instagram's going that way too.
Sure.
And gathering people and automating stuff off Instagram is happening already. It's been happening, and so it's only going to get more in that direction.
Yeah,
correct?
Absolutely. And then I know for me personally, if I'm interested in what they offer off of their Instagram page, then I'll click the website or I'll reach out.
For sure. And then you reach out.
But that's my first instinct now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so then you started that after you graduated.
Yep.
I guess that was kind of the launch of Simmons Media without you even knowing it, probably? Or
Exactly, yeah. It was at that point, I was lucky. Devin was doing great things. He kind of took me under his wing and showed me a lot about the business side. So, that's right actually the day after I graduated college, I, filed for the LLC and got started right away that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was the day after graduating, had Devin, and then, slowly got a little bit more exposure, got 1 client, 2 clients. I met Joe Riggio then, pretty early on, and that relationship bloomed, and,
Through Devin, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then, the rest is kind of history where we're, consistently growing, networking as much as we can.
Wow. That's awesome. So you got into it with the passion of social media and providing that content, and I think most business owners will get into it for the reason of their skill and their craft.
Sure.
But then the side of running a business, how is the growth in that area? Like, and what did you like? Was there a moment when you were like, wow, I'm actually running a business right now. It's not like just for fun.
Yeah.
Was there a moment of that?
Absolutely. There's that aha moment, trying to sleep one night, all the ideas are going through your head. Of course. It's like, man, I got to figure this out. Right. Especially as clients start, adding on, you're more busy every day. And then, as we kept growing clients, it like dawned on me, I'm like, I can't do this alone. Right. Like I have to get some help, and, got some, started getting some editing help and started getting the editing side off my plate. And, we really started growing at that moment.
And then you have expenses to deal with.
Sure.
So when you get into business, you don't realize it, but like you're paying so much expenses for different reasons, but they're absolutely crucial for your business to grow. So how is managing that aspect of everything? I'm sure being involved in the business of strength, you kind of learn as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love, being around you guys in the business of strength, gym owners, as much as I can. Those events are great too, because, it's still service-based industry. So I take as much, as a gym owner would from it. And I try to apply that into our business as well.
I got to convince Dan and Joe to involve outside industry into those.
That would be interesting.
I think that would be cool, at least once a year.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's so much to be learned in that, especially if it's a service business. It's a service business, right? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It all crosses.
It's the same principles.
Yeah, it all crosses paths. So what do you guys provide? So for people wondering, like for Simmons Media, what do you guys provide exactly? What do you guys do?
Right. So our bread and butter service is called Done For You Social Media Management. This is where, we take our team of in-house videographers, photographers, editors, graphic designers, social media managers, and we try to take social media completely off the business owner's plate, or as much as they want to, right?
Sure.
So on average, we figure it saves the average business owner about 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
And so 10 hours a week is huge when you're running a business, especially a small business. So that's pretty much our bread and butter service. We also do Done For You podcasting, which is
like we're doing right now,
which is similar, but on the podcasting side. And then outside of that, we'll do graphic design, videography, photo shoots, that kind of stuff as well.
Now, do you ever feel like, because you just named a lot of different stuff that goes on, do you ever feel like, because this happens to every business, are you doing too much maybe? Do you ever feel that way? Or no, you think that you guys can handle everything and it's fine? Or do you like what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think we handle it pretty well because they all kind of tie together, right?
Gotcha.
So like with our Done For You services, they are already including graphic design, photography, videography. So to do them as like one-off,
it's pretty easy for you to manage them.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Okay, cool. And then the podcasting thing, like obviously over the years, that's getting more popular and more popular. So is that like been a nice new revenue bucket for you guys? Absolutely.
Yeah, the Done For You podcasting has been, great, and it's something we're planning on hitting a lot harder the rest of this year.
I think I think you guys definitely should.
Yeah.
I think you guys definitely should.
Yeah, because podcasting, I mean, everybody wants to have a podcast. It seems like from what I've heard.
I mean,
it's just, how to do it, getting the right equipment.
For me, it was a time. That's why hiring you guys was a no-brainer because, we shoot, just so people listening know, I mean, for Simmons Media, we shoot our episode or, we have 3 in a row today, but and then after that, that's all I need to do on my end. And then I have to listen to Gabe on his emails, but I never get back to him on time though, unfortunately. Sorry about that, Gabe, to edit the clips and just what you want, but they do whatever you want basically. So it's amazing. And it's a great way for you to market your business.
Yeah.
For people listening, right?
Yeah. That's really the goal is, take as much of the stress and, the amount of effort and energy that it takes off your plate.
So now, Matt, like obviously you grew from the ground up. We were talking about this last episode. It was like being in every seat of your business and then learning those seats of your business, and then you can be the leader of your business. How important is that, and how valuable is that for you starting out as an intern, for Devin Gage and to where you are now?
Yeah, so that's huge. I read the book Buy Back Your Time. That was, everything for me. Really, but that was something I struggled with, especially initially, was, kind of delegating and not having my hands in every single thing.
Everybody does, right?
Right. Yeah, but it's something, I've worked a lot on recently. We have a good team. Gabe behind the camera there. It's easy to, pass off stuff when you trust your team.
That's true. That's true. It is. But like, you're dealing with people's podcasts and stuff like that. What if it comes up wrong, right? Like stuff like that. But you gotta know that in any business, mistakes are going to happen, and like hopefully your clients are understanding of that too, and they should be, because it happens in every business, right?
Absolutely.
But I mean, knock on wood. I mean, you guys have been amazing so far with everything. So
that's good to hear.
None of that happens. But it's just something as a business owner. There's a lot of stuff happening in your business. You can't control every single thing. You have to give it, freedom to grow, right? And that's the only way you can do it, is kind of just letting it loose. So you guys are on the path to reaching 40 clients by the end of this year.
Yep.
How was that set? Like, was that set for your team and everything? Like, how was that?
Yeah, so we're actually getting pretty close. We're at 31 right now.
Okay.
And the goal's 40. So really, at the end of the day, that number falls on all of us to do our jobs properly. And get the marketing dialed in, and
yes.
Do what we need to do to get there. But we are on track. We started this year, I want to say, with it's like 18.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, 20.
Wow. So you guys
so we're growing quick.
Wow.
Yep.
You got to deal with attrition too, I'm sure, in this
absolutely.
business.
Yeah.
So is that a main point for you guys in meetings? Like, we have 31 people right now. Let's just service and cater these people, because not only is that going to keep them there, but it's probably going to bring more people.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Right.
We talk about that all the time.
Referrals are the biggest thing in the world, right?
Oh yeah. Especially to us, especially that initial, 20, 25 clients even was built upon referrals and networking, and just having a great service that people are proud to represent their brand with. And, they talk in their circles, they talk in their networks. And that really helped us.
I think that's the key for every business, to start off with, boots in the ground marketing, meaning just create a good service and a good product. And then that'll just duplicate based off just naturally from people. Right?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
And that's always the key in that. So, starting right after college, that's insane. So I feel like when that happens, there's always like outsiders talking down on you, or kind of just saying like, it's not going to work out. You need a real job, stuff like that. Do you deal with that? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs listening right now are going through that right now. So how did you deal with that and create it? Now it's a real legit business, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at first, when you first, start working towards your goal or your dream in entrepreneurship like that, most people are going to not think it's going to work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think deep down, it's just having that confidence in yourself. Like, even if I knew it wasn't going to fail, but if it did, I would be fine, right?
Yeah.
It's just always had those tendencies. So for me, it was just that internal confidence. Like, I know I can do this. It's something I'm passionate about. I love doing it. I'm just going to do it to the best of my abilities. Yeah,
that's what you got to do. I remember somebody asking me, I won't say names obviously on this, like, when I first opened up a gym, I was 22 when RAF opened, and they were like, what are you going to do for a real job? And I was like, what?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, what? Like, okay. So, and that motivates me though, for sure. And I was just like, at the time, I didn't know what RAF would turn into and what, it would bring other business ventures and stuff like that. But at the same time, I just completely blocked it out, because it's the same. I was used to that in football too, like, just people not. So I was like, all right, whatever. Like, whatever you want to think is fine. Step. This is going to be a real business, and that's it. So I think the biggest thing you can do is just kind of block out that noise and follow your passion. I feel like that's been a common theme on every guest that I had come on here so far, is they're all just simply following their passion.
Sure. Absolutely.
And that's it.
And it also helps too. I will say this. I had, some great people in my corner when I started as well that, really helped give confidence boosts. And, I didn't know much about business at the beginning. Yeah. So it was great having those people in my corner. Like, I'll shout out a couple of Devin Gage, Joe Riggio, Charlie Houck from Growth Dynamics. Great people who kind of took me under their wing, showed me what I needed to know, and, really gave me that boost.
Yeah, I'm sure Joe has been a great mentor for you. Right?
Absolutely.
Because he's so on it too with that stuff, and the good thing about Joe, he'll be honest with you too.
Yeah, you need that.
That's needed,
especially in the beginning, right?
Especially in a business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You need that person to be honest with you.
So Matt, I know there's a lot of young kids out there, maybe younger or not, maybe they're just switching careers at an older age, that want to get into this business and they want to be successful in this business. What is your advice to those people?
Yeah. So yeah, this business is taking off, right? My biggest advice would be, one, you have to have that internal confidence, like I mentioned earlier. If you have that, I just recommend going for it. There's a lot of good people, and if you want to get started, a good idea too, especially like in the video side, even social media, is find a local business and offer your services for free.
I was just gonna say that's what you did, right? Basically, right?
Yeah,
Interns.
Exactly. Yeah, just get out there. Nobody can work with you if you don't get your work out there and show them what you can do. So if you're a videographer, something even we'll still do to this day is go around to our local stores, local shops, offer a free video. Just
why not?
Right there on the spot.
Nice lead generation for you, right?
Exactly. Yeah, not the worst. It's just another hand you're going to shake.
Exactly. And then maybe they'll be in your mind for, you'll be in their mind for a future.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's what I always try to tell people is just, all right, so that, yes. So that side of it is do it for free in the beginning. You have to prove it and then get some reviews on it, get some testimonials on it, and then be convincing for other businesses to use your service. And not only that, but I would probably recommend them to also, and correct me if I'm wrong, like shadow guys like you, like get in there,
absolutely,
intern for you guys, maybe,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Go find somebody that's doing what you want to do and learn from them.
Absolutely, yeah, that's great advice. When we first started, there wasn't too many people local who were doing exactly what we were doing, but it was finding other people in service-based industries, taking and learning as much as I possibly could from them, and then figuring out how to implement that into our specific field.
For sure. Are you guys taking any interns? You guys ever do that before?
Yeah, we have interns. We just had our one intern was a graphic designer, and now he's working with us.
Okay. Yep. So where do you find those? Local colleges or stuff like that, or is it?
Yeah, that's what we've done so far. Is I had a pretty good connection with the Westchester, media department, and so we're listed as a recommended internship.
So is that like a major now in classes? Is it social media management? What is it called?
It is. So at Westchester, at least when I took it, it was the first year that they started the major, and it's called media and culture. Right. So you could take a couple different paths. You can do like the production side, which is like the videography, photography, podcasting, even like radio side. You could do a strategic marketing side, which is like how to market your videos and content and all that kind of stuff. Or there was just a culture side, which is more focused on cultural studies.
Wow.
So I was the production side. And I did learn a lot. My tools got
that's why you guys are so great in the production side of things. That's awesome. I feel like it's so weird now because if I went to college now, I'd probably be a lot more choices there that weren't there when I was in college.
I bet. What did you go for?
So I went for health science, where I guess it kind of ties into the gym a little bit. So I have a health science degree from Stony Brook, but honestly, I don't, whatever. I just kind of got through it.
Yeah,
I passed. I passed. I never was really too interested in it that much. Because it was in a classroom setting. I love like being on the floor, training people, seeing their body move, stuff like that, and changing their body that way, right? That's what I loved, and then I just fell in love with business and all that. But
that makes sense.
But I feel like the best business lessons you can learn is just doing it, right? I'm sure, obviously in the beginning, you probably had zero business knowledge in the beginning, like everybody else starting out. I had no idea how to run a business in the beginning, but you just learn as you go, right, from mistakes.
Yeah, still to this day. I mean, I'm always just an open book, and every conversation I'm in, I try to take something from it. I'll be the first to say I don't know enough. Nobody does, right?
No.
So it's just every day trying to learn something, at least something new every single day.
For sure. And then now you're managing a team. How many people do you have?
There's 5 right now.
5 of us. Yep. So how is that every day?
Yeah, no, it's great. And like I said, I had a lot of great mentors to kind of learn from, and take a lot of leadership principles from. We have our meeting structure, all that as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I see you guys in the Zoom sometimes all together, so it's nice. It's nice seeing that.
Yeah,
and you got to be right. You have to have everybody on the same page. That's the hardest part. But it seems like you guys nailed that. What's next, Matt, for Simmons Media? What do you guys, any goals, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, anything like that?
Yeah, so more immediate goal is to get 40 clients by the end of this year, 2024. That's the biggest goal we've had for the year. And that's something we're, on track and hitting. Another thing too is really we want to take the podcast side to the next level, and that's, opening up studio space for people to use. That's
smart.
Yeah, exactly. Turning our skills with the podcasting side into, a studio where we could attract more people to come in and use.
Now you have that space already, rented out. Part of
so we have
where you guys are.
Yeah, we have it, and we're going to start the full build out.
Nice.
Pretty soon.
That's awesome. And now, what are you guys thinking of ways to get those like clients in the door for that. How is that going to work?
Sure. So a couple ideas. This is something we're doing is making a list of every single person who has a podcast in the area, right? And we're going to reach out to them, just introduce ourselves, connect.
Wow.
Another way, you know,
Peerspace
also, you know, list it on Peerspace, get some
there you go,
rentals
just get
that
it going.
way. Yeah, and you know, really just network. Another idea we had too was, you know, other media companies, photographers, videographers in the area, they may need a space to use. Just another DM away, right?
Gotcha.
You're always just one DM, one message away.
There you go. I like that a lot. That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
I just gave away the whole strategy.
So Matt, how do you deal with, because I know that side of it, you probably get a lot of this from clients. How do you deal with, I guess you guys don't have like unhappy clients, but like people that are kind of, and you don't have to say the clients you have now, but like pestering and stuff like that. How do you deal with that? Like, because obviously you want to create good service. So people who are pestering you are always up your ass about stuff. Because I can sure that can happen. And let's just be honest. It happens in the gym business too. How do you handle those situations?
Yeah, so I think that's obviously something that happens in every single business,
yeah,
right?
It happens.
But yeah, communication is really key. We try to answer one as fastly as possible, diffuse as fastly as possible, and really, you know, like I kind of said, take that approach where just a calm level approach. We don't take anything personal.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Exactly.
That's key.
At the end of the day, we try to make the clients' videos, their social media, exactly what they want. So to get there, you know, we're all open ears to criticism, critique.
Love it. Yeah, Matt, if anybody listening that wants to get into this industry, or maybe intern for you, you take virtual interns?
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
Right, cool. So I'm sure you get some people from this. How can they reach you?
Yeah, so you could email me, matt@simmonsmedia.co, just .co. You could send me a DM on Instagram @simmons.media. Those are probably the two best ways.
All right, cool. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you coming on.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.